Have you ever stopped to think about whether the Bible mentions dinosaurs? It's a question that sparks curiosity among many believers, especially since dinosaurs are such a huge part of the natural history we learn about today. Did these massive creatures that we know lived millions of years ago have any place in the biblical narrative? If you've ever asked yourself this, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into this topic to explore whether the Bible talks about dinosaurs and how they might fit into the grand story of creation. To begin with, we need to acknowledge something important. The term dinosaur didn't exist until 1841, when it was coined by the British scientist Richard Owen. That means we won't find the word dinosaur in any ancient texts, including the Bible. However, just because the Bible doesn't use modern scientific language doesn't mean it doesn't refer to large creatures that could resemble dinosaurs. In fact, there are descriptions of mysterious, massive animals in the scriptures, and some people believe these might be references to creatures like dinosaurs. Two of the most commonly mentioned creatures in these discussions are the behemoth and the leviathan. These are described in the book of Job, one of the oldest books in the Bible. Let's start by taking a closer look at the behemoth, which is described in Job 40:15-19. The passage says, "Look at the behemoth, which I made along with you, and which feeds on grass like an ox. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail sways like a cedar. The sinews of its thighs are close-knit. Its bones are tubes of bronze. Its limbs like rods of iron." Now, let's break this down. This creature is described as eating grass, like an ox, so it's likely herbivorous. It's strong, with powerful muscles, and has bones as strong as bronze and iron. But the part that really catches people's attention is the reference to its tail. It says its tail sways like a cedar. A cedar tree is enormous, so this suggests a large, powerful tail. Some people believe this could be describing a massive dinosaur, like a brachiosaurus, or another large sauropod, since those creatures had long tree-like tails. On the other hand, others suggest that the behemoth could be a known animal, like an elephant or a hippopotamus. However, one issue with this interpretation is that neither elephants nor hippos have tails that could be compared to a cedar tree. Their tails are relatively small and wouldn't match the description in Job. This is why some people lean towards the idea that the behemoth might actually be a creature that's no longer around, possibly even a dinosaur. Next, let's turn to the leviathan, described in Job 41. This creature is a little different from the behemoth because it's a sea creature, and it's portrayed as fierce, untamable, and downright terrifying. Here's a part of the description. "Can you pull in Leviathan with a fishhook or tie down its tongue with a rope? Its breath sets coals ablaze, and flames dart from its mouth. Strength resides in its neck. Dismay goes before it. The folds of its flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable." The Leviathan is often thought of as a sea monster or some kind of giant marine creature. The description is intense, even saying that flames come from its mouth, making it sound almost like a fire-breathing dragon. Could this be a description of some ancient sea-dwelling creature, like a dinosaur or large reptile? Some have speculated that it could refer to creatures like the plesiosaurus, a marine reptile that lived during the time of the dinosaurs. Others think it might refer to something more mythical, symbolizing chaos or evil. The descriptions of the behemoth and leviathan leave a lot of room for interpretation. Are they literal animals that lived in Job's time? Or are they symbolic of larger concepts like strength and chaos? If they are real animals, Could they be dinosaurs? Or are they creatures we're familiar with today, just described in more poetic language? These are the kinds of questions that fuel debate among scholars and believers alike. Now, this leads us to the big question. Where do dinosaurs fit into the biblical timeline? When were they created? And what happened to them? Let's start by looking at the account of creation in Genesis. According to the Bible, God created all living creatures, including land animals, on the sixth day of creation. Genesis chapter 1, verse 24 says, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth after their kind." This passage tells us that God created all kinds of animals, and many people believe that dinosaurs would have been part of this creation. The Bible doesn't go into detail about specific species, but the language suggests a broad creation of various kinds of animals. According to some Christians, this includes dinosaurs. They argue that dinosaurs, like all other animals, were created alongside humans during the 6 days of creation, and that they lived on Earth at the same time as people did. This view is especially common among young Earth creationists, who believe that the Earth is only about 6,000 to 10,000 years old, based on the genealogies in the Bible. They argue that dinosaurs were part of the original creation and were alive during the time of Adam and Eve. Some even suggest that dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark and survived the flood. But if dinosaurs lived with humans, what happened to them? One theory is that the global flood described in Genesis, which wiped out most of life on Earth, also wiped out many dinosaur species. Those that were taken on the Ark might have struggled to survive in the drastically changed world after the flood. The post-flood environment was likely much harsher, with changes in climate and available food sources, which could have led to the eventual extinction of dinosaurs. On the other side of the debate, some Christians take an old Earth creationist view, which aligns more closely with modern scientific understanding. They believe that the Earth is billions of years old, and that dinosaurs lived millions of years before humans ever appeared. For these believers, the creation story in Genesis is seen more as a symbolic or poetic account of how God created the world, rather than a literal, step-by-step description of events. They suggest that the days of creation in Genesis might represent long periods of time, rather than literal 24-hour days, making room for the long history of dinosaurs before humans came on the scene. This old Earth perspective allows for the coexistence of both the Bible's teachings and modern scientific discoveries. Dinosaurs, according to this view, lived millions of years ago and became extinct long before humans were created. From this standpoint, the Bible's creation story and scientific findings about dinosaurs don't have to conflict, but instead, they can complement each other. The Bible is seen as offering spiritual truths about creation, while science provides the detailed timeline and process of how that creation unfolded over billions of years. One of the key ideas here is that the Bible wasn't written as a scientific textbook. Its primary purpose is to reveal who God is, His relationship with humanity, and His plan for redemption. It doesn't aim to provide a detailed history of every creature that ever lived. So, while dinosaurs aren't explicitly mentioned, this doesn't necessarily mean they didn't exist, or that their existence contradicts the Bible. It simply means the Bible's focus is on the spiritual aspects of creation, rather than providing a scientific account of natural history. For those who hold to this view, there's no problem reconciling the existence of dinosaurs with their faith. They see dinosaurs as part of God's magnificent creation, animals that lived and thrived long before humanity entered the picture. In this way, the fossil record and scientific evidence of dinosaurs are seen as further proof of God's creativity and the vastness of His work in the universe. Another interesting point to consider is how the extinction of dinosaurs fits into both views. If dinosaurs were part of the pre-flood world, as young Earth creationists suggest, their extinction could be tied to the events of Noah's flood. The flood would have caused massive changes to the Earth's climate, geography, and ecosystems, making it difficult for many species, including dinosaurs, to survive in the post-flood world. However, for old Earth creationists, the extinction of dinosaurs is seen as part of the natural cycle of life on Earth. Just as species have come and gone throughout history, dinosaurs lived during their time and then disappeared, likely due to a mass extinction event, such as the asteroid impact that many scientists believe occurred around 65 million years ago. From this perspective, dinosaurs were simply part of God's plan for Earth's development, playing their role in shaping the environment long before humans arrived. This brings us to a broader question. What can we learn from dinosaurs, whether they existed alongside humans or millions of years before us? One thing is certain. Dinosaurs, with their enormous size, strength, and diversity, are a testament to the power and creativity of God. The Bible emphasizes again and again that God is the creator of all things, from the smallest creatures to the largest beasts. Psalm 104, verse 24 says, "How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures." This verse reminds us that everything in creation, dinosaurs included, was made by God in His wisdom. Whether you believe dinosaurs were part of the biblical creation story alongside humans, or that they lived millions of years ago, they point to a creator whose works are far beyond our understanding. Dinosaurs also remind us of the mystery and majesty of creation. Even though we've uncovered many fossils and learned a great deal about these ancient creatures, there's still so much we don't know. This sense of wonder is something the Bible speaks to as well. In Job 38, verse 4, God asks Job, "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand." Now that we've explored the different ways Christians interpret dinosaurs in the Bible, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think dinosaurs lived alongside humans? Or do you see them as part of the ancient past, long before humanity? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. And remember, there's room for different perspectives on this topic. What's important is that we're all seeking to understand God's creation in the best way we can. And if you found this video insightful or it got you thinking, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.